Hey, Amplify You family. Welcome back. Michelle Abraham here with a special guest, Noah St. John. Now, you may have seen Noah around. He's been on lots of TV places. He's been on lots of book covers. Noah is so amazing. I had the privilege of meeting Noah a few weeks ago. And it's just the author of 15 books, and he's been New York Times bestselling author. He's been all over the map with so many amazing things. So you've heard that in my introduction. Noah, I'm so happy to have you here. We can deep dive into some of the new things and especially your new book that you have out. So thanks for being with
Thanks, Michelle. Great to be here today.
Awesome. Well, so glad that you're here. And we're talking to you today about head trash. What's this head trash up here? So Noah's got a new book out, and get rid of your head trash about money. It's something that I think stops a lot of people, this head trash. What inspired you to write this book?
Well, it's what you just said, Michelle, that, I've been doing this for over 20 years now. I started my company, successclinic.com, in my college dorm room in 1997 with $800 to my name and a book on how to do HTML. So that tells you how long I've been doing this. In fact, next year I'll be entering my 4th decade of helping people to make more money and really to get unstuck. And so, in all that time, I've helped my clients, my coaching clients, to literally add multiple 6 figures, 7 figures, and even 8 figures to their business. Collectively, my clients have added over $2 billion in sales, and we've helped them to get those really amazing results. And one of the ways that we've been able to do that is through this concept of helping people to get unstuck. So, I've been writing about getting unstuck and teaching people and coaching people for over 2 decades, like I said. But what started to happen was recently, people started saying to me, hey, Noah, they just contact me on social media or on our website, and they say, hey, Noah, I hear you're the guy that helps people get unstuck. I hear you're the guy that helps people double or triple their income in less than a year. I hear you're the guy that people go to after they've been to all the gurus and they're still stuck. Can you help me get unstuck? And I said, yes, I can. And so the point is, what I realized is that this whole concept of being stuck, because I'm like the nerdiest nerd in this industry. What I mean by that is I have to understand how things work, how they fit together, and then break them down to their molecular level and then put them back together so that anybody can use it. Anybody can literally get that transformation. And so that's when I realized that one of the reasons that so many people are feeling stuck right now is this concept that I call head trash. All right, so that's why I really decided to write this book. And why people are just really loving it. I've literally had people buy the book at my live events. We have live events called Freedom Lifestyle Experience. And, they buy the book right there at the event. And then they come up to me like an hour later and said, Noah, wow, this book, you just changed my life in an hour. And it's really amazing to see those kind of transformations.
That is awesome. So let's talk about head trash. So what exactly is head trash?
Yeah, absolutely. So that is, I talked a moment ago about this whole concept or this phenomenon really of being stuck. Mm-hmm. Right. And so what causes stuckness, that's, I was telling you that I'm a nerd. So I have to understand, number one, what causes stuckness.
Right.
Number two, what really is it? And then of course, how do we fix it? Right. Because I got to fix it. I can't just have, be talking about the problem or what everybody else does. They talk about symptoms. Right. So like before my teaching, because I've been teaching people how to get unstuck and how to stop self-sabotage. But before my teaching, basically the cure for self-sabotage or the treatment that was available, the only treatment that was available before was to say, well, you know what? If you're sabotaging yourself, stop doing that.
It's really helpful.
Like, wow, that's really helpful. Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Are you kidding me? But that's literally it. They said, well, don't do that. Oh, okay. Gee, I never thought of that. Thanks a lot. So here's the point. What I realized in coaching, just thousands of entrepreneurs and people all around the world, what I realized is one of the big things that causes people to be stuck is this concept of head trash. All right, so what is head trash? So head trash is that voice in your head that says, I can't do it because, ... And then you just fill in the blank. Well, Noah, and this is what my clients say to me all the time, when they start working with me, when they hire me, they say, Noah, I can't do it because I don't have the time. No, I can't do it because I don't have the money. No, I can't do it because I don't have the right connections. Oh, I can't do it because I'm a woman. I can't do it because I haven't written a book like you have, or I didn't go to the right college, or I'm divorced, or I'm single, or I'm a Martian. Whatever it is. You just have every excuse in the world, right? But here's the thing. There's something very, very important for everyone to realize about your head trash. And that is this. you always make yourself right. See, we humans have an almost infinite capacity to make ourselves right, right? So if you're saying to yourself, because really you're saying it to yourself. I mean, you say it to me, you know, when I coach you, but really you're saying it to yourself. Well, I can't do it because I don't have the time, right? That's one of the most common excuses we hear. Well, no, oh, no. Well, yeah, I'd love to write a book. I'd love to get my funnels up. I'd love to fix my website. I'd love to do this and do that, but I just don't have the time. I said, that's fascinating. So you're telling me that Warren Buffett and Bill Gates and Richard Branson and Mark Cuban, they all have a lot more time than you, right? And they go, well, no. And I go, really? Okay. So is it really that you don't have the time, or is it that maybe you don't have the right strategies in place, and maybe you just don't know what to do, or maybe you're scared, or you're telling yourself you can't do it because you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So the point is, you always make yourself right. But this is one instance where you don't want to be right, right? So if you're, you know, like we had one client, her name was Sheila, and she hired me. She actually heard me speak at a network marketing conference, because I speak at network marketing conferences and real estate conferences, entrepreneurial conferences all around the world. So she heard me speak. She never heard me before. She didn't even, never heard of me, didn't even know, who I was. But anyway, so she heard me speak and was very excited, motivated. So she came up, to the table and decided to hire me as a coach. So she was stuck when she hired me at about $5,000 a month in sales. So she'd been making about $5,000 a month for the past 4 years. Now, that's pretty good for, a lot of people say, hey, $5,000 a month, that's not bad. But she knew she could do a lot better. She was working really hard. She'd invested a lot of time and money and effort, like tens of thousands of dollars, hired all the gurus, but was still stuck at that level. And then when I was able to work with her and show her how to, number one, get rid of her head trash, number two, how to get unstuck. Well, in that year, Michelle, she went from making $5,000 a month in sales to over $75,000 a month in sales in 1 year. That's a 15 times increase in 1 year. Yeah. Now that just doesn't happen. I mean, it's really amazing. And you can watch her video. By the way, you can watch tons of videos on our website. When you go to noahstjohn.com, we call it our wall of fame. You can watch our client reviews.
We've got great videos on there.
and celebrity reviews. And I mean, they're just, these are all real people, real stories. And you can literally watch the videos. And so I always say to people, listen, hey, don't take my word for it. Listen to my clients. Let them tell you the story of how this changed their life. But so anyway, that's the whole point of head trash, is that you got to look at all these lies you're telling yourself that you believe, because that's one of the big things that's going to keep you stuck.
Yeah, and you didn't just tell her to stop listening to it, right?
No, because you could shoot me if I said that. I mean, that would be... Stop. No, I could not live with myself if I did what all these other clowns are doing, which is, no, just don't. I'm going, come on, really? Come on.
That's right. And so how did you come up with this system and this process to get rid of the head trash and get unstuck? Was it something that you went through personally?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, see, I grew up poor in a rich neighborhood. So I know that's a total cliche, but I grew up in a little town called Kennebunkport, Maine, which just happens to be one of the wealthiest communities in New England. But my family was dirt poor. And I mean that literally, because we lived at the bottom of a dirt road in a drafty, unfinished house that my parents ended up losing to foreclosure. Now, you hear all these stories all the time, right? Speakers get on stage, oh, well, we were poor, but we didn't know we were poor because we were so happy. No, we freaking knew we were poor, and we were not happy because my mother reminded us every day that we were poor, right? And so, no, it sucked. And so, but that was a very unusual experience because, in my household, in my family of origin, all I knew was poverty. All I saw was poverty and fear and lack and not enoughness. But yet right down the street, there was wealth and abundance. So I'm going, well, this doesn't make any sense, right? How come my parents are working so hard? They have nothing. Meanwhile, people down the street don't seem to be working so hard. They've got plenty. So it really didn't make any sense. So the point is, I went on a long journey to try to figure all this out, put it together. I just went to the library. Like I said, I'm a nerd. So I got to understand how things work. And I really tried to get it to work. I read every book. I did everything they said, and I just couldn't get it to work. So at the age of 25, I decided to commit suicide because I was very depressed, very frustrated. When you work hard and sacrifice and you have success, that creates a feeling of satisfaction. But when you work hard and sacrifice and you don't have success, that causes depression and frustration. So that's where I was. I was very depressed, very frustrated. And I said, you know what, I'm done. Now, at the very, very last moment, my life was spared, and I didn't know why, but I decided to devote the rest of my life to serving God and serving humanity as best I could while I was still here on the earth. The only problem was I still didn't know why I was here on the earth. So I went on another long journey, this one more like a spiritual journey, where I was reading spiritual books, spiritual thinkers like Ernest Holmes and Marianne Williamson, Louise Hay, Neil Donald Walsh, and spiritual thinkers of our time. And that's why in 1997, that led to my epiphany. I had two epiphanies in 1997. One was where I discovered my teaching of affirmations, which is this Hay House book right here, the book of affirmations. And the second one was where I discovered success anorexia, which is a condition that millions of people are unknowingly suffering from, that I talk about in the Head Trash book. But also, what I realized is that in that moment, over 20 years ago, I realized, because I was sitting at a seminar listening to a speaker talk about eating disorders, and I realized, wait a minute, I'm not starving myself of food. I'm starving myself of success. And I'm not settling for crumbs of food. I'm settling for the crumbs of life. And I realized that no one had ever talked about that before. And that's when I wrote my first book, which was called Permission to Succeed. So I started talking about permission to succeed over 20 years ago, long before anybody else was talking about it. So anyway, so now 20 years later, we have all these books and training and coaching, but really, yes, it came from my own frustration, this whole entire teaching of head trash and being stuck and self-sabotaging and having your foot on the brake. All that was from my personal experience. So I wish someone had written these books for me many years ago.
Right.
That's why I've done all this work and decided to do all this to help people, because I knew I wasn't alone in this. I knew there's millions of people just like me who are unknowingly, unwittingly starving themselves of success they're capable of. And the point that I want your listeners and your viewers to know is that there's help out there. Because everybody else is talking about symptoms. Like I said earlier, well, if you're sabotaging yourself, just don't sabotage yourself. Okay. That's like saying to an anorexic, hey, why don't you just eat? Really? Wow. I never thought of that. Really help. So that's the point, is that, what a lot of people have said about my work is that my work starts where Napoleon Hill's left off, which, if you know Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, that's quite an honor. So anyway, it's really been exciting.
That's really awesome. And thank goodness that you didn't listen and you came down with this journey, because now we're here to learn from you and all the things that you were able to go through. I'm curious about the affirmations, because I know of affirmations, and I know you, Louise Hay, have had a thing going with these affirmations and affirmations. So can you talk about those for a sec?
Yeah, absolutely. So, so this is another one of my books. I don't mean to hold up all my books here, but
I love them. You've guys got a new one for every.
Well, we got a new one. We got this one now. We got a bunch. Anyway. Oh, yeah, we got By the way, any of you in Chinese? We got Chinese. We got 18 other languages. So
amazing.
Anyway, it's exciting. Okay. Anyway, so what we're saying here, just for those folks who this is a new concept to, which is probably a lot of folks. It's affirmations, not affirmations. So affirmations. We're not saying the wrong word. We're saying a new word. All right. So everybody knows, of course, if you ever read a self-help book, you know what an affirmation is. An affirmation is a statement of something you want to be true. So like at my live events at Freedom Lifestyle Experience, or when I'm doing keynote speeches, one of the things I'll do is I'll have my audience members stand up and say, okay, we're all going to say an affirmation. We're going to do it, the old way we've been taught for decades. And everybody say, I am rich. Everybody goes, I am rich. And you know what happens next? Everybody starts laughing, right? And I go, well, what are you laughing at? They go, well, I'm not rich. I said, but you just said you were. And they go, yeah, but I don't believe it. See, so that's really the main issue.
Problem there.
Problem, right, is that we're saying these statements, but we don't believe them. Now, what the traditional teachers said is, well, if you don't believe your statement, just repeat it 1,000 million billion gajillion times, and then you'll believe it, right? So we've all heard this. We've all heard it a million times. Well, I did. I read the book. Every book said the same things. I'm like, oh, I guess I got to be right, right? So I put it on the wall. I did it. Nothing. I got nothing. So I was so frustrated. So one morning in April 1997, I share that story in the books, but I was in the shower. I call it the shower that changed everything. Because, we've all had those aha moments in the shower, right? The aha, and you're like, oh, yeah, I got it. Eureka moment, right? Well, this particular shower, I was thinking about this because I was so frustrated, doing the same thing, everything they said. And I'm like, what aren't they telling us? There's got to be something they're not telling us. And I said, all right, well, what are you talking about? We're talking about beliefs. But what is a belief? Well, a belief is just a thought. Okay, well, what is thought? And I realized that human thought is the process of asking and searching for answers to questions. For example, if I ask you, why is the sky blue? Your brain immediately goes, I don't know, why is the sky blue? Right? It just immediately starts to search for the answer, right? Just like a Google search or a computer searching its files, right? The sky, it's like your brain is literally going, the sky's blue because, I don't know, but it's looking, right? So it's automatically searching for the answer to a question. I said, all right, well, now if that's true, if the human mind is automatically searching for answers to questions, why are we going around making statements we don't believe? Why don't we just cut out the middleman? And I said, I don't know what that looked like. Well, let's see, you got this statement or affirmation, I am rich, to which your brain replies, yeah, right? So we don't believe it. So I said, if that's the statement, what would the question be? Why am I so rich? Why am I so rich? Now, when you ask that question, what starts to happen in your brain? You start to search for the answer, right? So what we're talking about is the law of sowing and reaping. As you sow, so shall you reap. It's an ancient law. It's been taught for centuries. But what are we sowing? Well, we're sowing seeds of thought. Yet, what are most people doing? Sowing lousy thought seeds. Why am I so stupid? Why am I so fat? Why can't I lose weight? Why isn't my business growing? Why can't I get a date on Friday? Why is there more month left at the end of the money? Right? And when you ask lousy questions, what do you get?
Lousy responses.
Lousy answers, right? And that leads to a lousy life. So I said, wait a second. What if instead of asking lousy questions that lead to lousy answers, create a lousy life, what if we just flip the whole thing on its head? Start asking empowering questions that lead to phenomenal answers and create a wonderful life. And as I was standing there in the shower, April 1997, I said, holy cow, I think I just invented something. And so I had to give it a name, and the name that I gave it was not affirmations, but afformations, AFFORMATIONS. You go to afformations.com and learn more about my affirmations system, my affirmations method. So literally that's what happened, Michelle. And I jumped out of the shower and looked, and I'm like, man, that is so cool. I can't believe no one's ever thought of that before.
Best shower ever.
I know, it's awesome. So I literally wrote it all down. And then I really didn't know what else to do with it. So that's when I self-published my first book called Permission to Succeed, where I talked about what I was just sharing, about success, anorexia, and affirmations. And then I self-published this book. And what happened was I met Jack Canfield, who, of course, we all know Jack Canfield from Chicken Soup for the Soul. This was 10 years before The Secret, so long before The Secret came out. But, we met at an award ceremony. He was winning an award. And I showed him my self-published book, which was the ugliest thing you've ever seen, but he loved it. He said, wow, this looks great. And I'll send it to my publisher. And 8 weeks later, I got a call from the Chicken Soup publisher. So you can see this is the original Chicken Soup publisher right here. So that book came out in 1999. So what's so funny is here we are, this book came out in 1999. Here we are 20 years later with my new book called Power Habits in 2019. And so anyway, wow, I've been doing this a long time.
That's awesome. You've got a lot of books. It's amazing. Most people aspire to write one book, and you've written 15. That's great.
Well, it's pretty exciting.
I love it. So tell us a little bit more about your event that you have. I know you're doing this several times a year, and they sound really amazing and life-changing. So tell us a bit more about what we can expect if we attend one.
Yeah, they really are amazing, and they are life-changing. So it's called Freedom Lifestyle Experience, and you can learn more. Go to freedomlifex.com. So Freedom Life, L-I-F-E, Frank Edgar, freedomlifex.com. And so when you go to that page, you'll see just tons and tons of videos and success stories and reviews of people who've attended my event. There's one gentleman, he came to my event, he's increased his business by 800%, 800%, literally in a year. And I mean, just the stories go on and on and on. It's really amazing. So the point is that what makes this event unique and different is that it's a 2-day transformational summit that we focus on the inner game and outer game of success. Now, let me explain real quickly what I mean by that. The inner game is everything that happens between your ears that you can't see directly, but you see the effects of it everywhere. So one of the things I'll say to my coaching clients or at my events, I'll say, what's one area of your life where your beliefs don't affect you? And they go, I go, exactly, right. Your beliefs affect everything, right? There's no place your beliefs don't affect you. Your beliefs affect your health, your relationships, your finances, your business, your social life, your family, everything, right? Your marriage. There's no place your beliefs don't affect you. So we start on day one with inner game. That's one thing that makes it very different because with most business building events, you're just going and they're just shoving marketing down your throat. Marketing. Now, there's nothing wrong with marketing. We all have to market our business, right? You're in business, you got to market your business. But here's the problem. You're dealing with these weird creatures called human beings. And last time I checked, most human beings have this thing called head trash. You see what I'm saying? So they're literally saying, they're shoving marketing. And meanwhile, 99% of people are sitting there going, I probably can't do it. Right? Because you just told me you couldn't do it, right? So literally they're like starting from nothing. And so you're trying to shove something down the person's throat that they can't even get there. They literally can't even, because they just have this head trash. So do you see what I'm saying? So the point is, I'm like, why don't we start where we are instead of where we wish we were, right? It would be nice if we were all androids and Vulcans and then you just go, marketing. Oh, okay. That doesn't happen, right? I mean, for like 1% of the people it does, I'm talking to 99%. You know, like me, I'm like, I didn't think I could do any of this stuff. I never thought I could write, you know, I mean, I dreamed of writing a book. I wanted to help people. I wanted to have a business, but I never really thought I could do it. Every step has been, oh, I probably can't do it. Yeah, shut up and do it anyway. You know, so, I mean, but that's where we got to start on day one. So that's day one is all about inner game mastery. Well, then day two is outer game mastery. Because like I just said, you have to do the marketing. That's where we do. Finally, we get to the lead magnets and your, you know, your sales funnels, your digital marketing, your pages, all the blocking and tackling that we as entrepreneurs have to do every day. But here's the problem. I've had so many people come to my events who spend tens of thousands of dollars on everyone else out there, all the big name gurus, and yet they're still stuck. Like, I'll give you a quick example. I had one student named, or she was a client named Susan, and she came to my event and she told me that she was $60,000 in debt because she had spent $60,000 not on bags and shoes and clothes, but on every self-help guru out there. Like, she had spent all this money on all the self-help stuff, but she was stuck. In fact, she was about to lose her home. She was about to lose her marriage. Her husband said, I can't take it anymore, right? We're supposed to be going up, we're going down. This isn't, it's not only not helping, it's making it worse. So she was literally in a really bad spot. So anyway, she came to my event. She hired me as her coach. In 1 year, we helped her go from $60,000 in debt to a six-figure income. So today she's got her dream job. She's making a healthy six-figure income. And she's just published her first book, and she asked me to write the foreword for that book because of how I changed her life. And she actually became one of my Power Habits certified coaches. So we have a Power Habits certified coach program as well. So, I mean, literally just amazing, amazing real life stories like that. But Michelle, you know, one thing I just want to share with folks is that, you know, in this industry, I think one of the things that makes us different is that, you know, in this industry, we see a lot of what I call, look at me, guys. Hey, look at me. Look how cool I am. Aren't I awesome? Look at my shiny this and look at my new that. And look at this. I'm on a plane. I'm on a helicopter. Now, listen, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we all want nice things. We want to provide for our family. We want to go on fun vacations and have shiny stuff. Nothing wrong with that. But here's the question really that I think all of us should be asking of that guru. Have you helped anyone else, or is it all about you? See, if it's all about that person, well, then what's the point, right? That means maybe they just had a really outgoing personality. Maybe they just had something special, or maybe they're not even really telling their secrets or not sharing the good stuff. Have you ever noticed they always leave out like that one little piece that you need?
How do you do it? Yeah.
Right? I mean, am I right? So that's the thing. It's like, oh, you left out the most important piece, part of the recipe. Thanks a lot, right? So I made the cake. I followed what you said, but it didn't rise. Why does it taste bad? Oh, I didn't tell you that part? No, you didn't. Thanks a lot, right? So that's the point, is what people say, like, you know, with Susan and with Sheila and with, you know, lots of other people who come to my events. That's what it is. I fill in the missing piece. Just because, honestly, I was so frustrated that they didn't. And I mean, it took me so much time and money and effort to finally piece it together on my own. So my job is to save people that time, money, and effort. So anyway, that's what you get at freedomlifex.com. And it's really cool. And we have a lot of fun.
Sounds like the perfect recipe of like the inner and outer game, parts you can stop spending on all the outer game stuff because you're going to fix the inner game stuff first. And oh my gosh, so that's magic. It will work. So that's amazing. And so when are you doing those events?
Well, our next events are coming up in August and September, Orlando and Las Vegas. So at freedomlifex.com, you know, depending on when you're watching or listening to this program, you know, we'll have different dates and cities coming up. But, you know, we try to make them, what we do, we have them in cities that are very, very easy to get to. Orlando, Las Vegas, you know, two of the easiest cities on planet Earth to get in and out of. So it's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. So guys, make sure you go check that out. And Noah also has a special gift for you. It's called Send Me a Book, Noah. Or no, send me, no, what's it called? It's called sendmeabooknoah.com, right?
That's right. So this book right here, Get Rid of Your Head Trash About Money. When you go to sendmeabooknoah.com, very easy to remember, sendmeabooknoah.com. And this book is free. So because you're watching this program right now or listening, you can get this book for free, sendmeabooknoah.com. And the book is free. I've covered the cost of the book. We just ask you to cover the shipping. And we also have some special bonuses that are available as well. But the book is free, sendmeabooknoah.com.
Awesome. I love it. Thank you, Noah. That's such a generous gift. And especially with being your new book out. So that's awesome. We look forward to reading it. And also, where else can we find you? Social media, follow you. And if we want to book you for event or speaking engagement or podcast interview, I know his book booknoah.com, right?
Booknoah.com. So also very easy to
You're
remember.
very
I want to
clever
book
with those.
Noah.
I
Where
like
should I
that.
go? Booknoah.com. I want to book Noah. Booknoah.com.
I love it. It makes me laugh. Those amazing websites. Booknoah.com and send me a booknoah.com.
Exactly.
Awesome. And on social media, where can we follow you?
I'm every Noah St. John there is. So
Awesome.
Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Noah St. John, Noah St. John. I'm pretty much it.
Perfect. Well, that's great. So guys, make sure you head on over there. And if you're getting stuck where you are, especially you're thinking about launching a podcast, you're ready to get out there, but then there's something holding you back, you definitely want to tune in and find out what kind of head trash you got going on up there. So thank you, Noah, for being with us today. It's been a pleasure getting to know you further, and I look forward to sending more clients your way.
I appreciate you, Michelle. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks.